Welcome to my new moon reading for the new moon in May. This new moon is on May 11th and it is conjunct Uranus and Lilith, so it will be a wild card. But before we look at the astrology, I will first have a look at my cards, and the theme in my cards is also about change. It is with change, with purification, and with Neptune there is something out of other dimensions that is born into this world, into this matter, something that has not been materialized yet but will be materialized. So the next weeks will bring very concrete changes, and in a way this change has been very anticipated. It is something we were waiting for, whether consciously or subconsciously, but it is not something where we have no connection to. Our soul was yearning for this change to come, and in the past it looks like that we were preparing for this change. Even we were preparing to harmonize opposite forces like the feminine and the masculine, or the material world and the immaterial world, and to allow this constant dance of spirit and matter and spirit, and the art of having different opinions uniting in one, the art of diversity. And this art of diversity brings new life, and something new was preparing in our minds already. Something new was already born, and it has to do with communicating in a new way with others, relating in a new way. Mercury is relating and uniting opposites, contraries. Mercury is the one who travels into the upper world and travels into the lower world. He is not bound to certain ways it has to be. Mercury is very flexible, and to prepare us for concrete changes that will come. So I would say that this new moon will bring changes. The only constant is change. That to me is the theme of this new moon. The only constant is change. This is not easy for us to realize, and the future cards say, well, with Nightmare, with Saturn, with Trickster and the future, we need a period of adjustment, because with Nightmare we are afraid of the new, we are afraid, and there is a tendency, or there is a danger, to bring our old ways of living into the new. We want the new, but we are also afraid of the new, because we are afraid of the unknown. And the advice of the cards is allow yourself really to be open for the future, not to bring your old stuff into the new. If you want change, you cannot take your old crap with you. If you just carry your old crap, no wonder that the change will not make you happy. With Saturn and with Nightmare and with Trickster, it will take time until we are able to get used to the new, to adapt to the new, and to let go of old thought patterns, to let go of old behavior. It is a time that needs adjustment. These changes will bring a time or weeks of adjustment, but I would say that for many of us this new moon will bring changes. This is what is also confirmed by the cards. And if I look into the astrology, then it is even more obvious, because this new moon is with Uranus and Lilith. We have to be careful not to be in power games with others. With Lilith we tend to be angry because we don't feel seen, and we project our own shame of not being seen onto others. And it is an invitation to see ourselves in our beauty, and to invite the change out of our beauty, because the fixed star Algol is also quite close. In Algol, some say it has to do with Medusa, often is seen as a star of misery. The misery that comes, and demonic forces, and the misery that comes out of resentment and out of revenge, thoughts of revenge. And if we are imprisoned in our thoughts of revenge and resentment, then Uranus might actually bring even more trauma with this new moon. So I would say that it would be wise to use the days before the new moon, when it is, or the night before the new moon, when it is really dark, to let go of our resentments, to let go of our thoughts of revenge, of that we need to be seen before we can forgive, we need to be this or that to happen before we can move on, and to allow to be in Taurus, in this inner Buddha state of peace. Because May is the month, is the Vesak month, is the month of Buddha. And Buddha is like this point that is in the middle of the circle of creation, where things are going and things are coming, and there is a stillness point of eternity in that, in this acceptance that things will come and things that go, but also in the realization that the spirit that is coming into form is still spirit, and in its spirit it is eternal. So maybe the appearance changes, but the spirit itself is still and is eternal. Our soul is connected to this Buddha state. Our soul is connected to the state of eternity. Our soul is part of eternity and circles around in different forms and appearances and comes and goes, but there is a point of eternity inside of us, our sacred garden, where we are also connected in eternity to life and all those who live. And out of this point of eternity, we are in peace and in the realization that everyone is just an actor on a stage. And that doesn't mean that we allow injustice to happen or that we allow others to hurt us. But there is a difference between self-righteousness and speaking out. And the beauty is with Mercury and Venus and the asteroid Nymph on the North Node, we have with this new moon an opportunity to be very kind in our way how we speak out, to allow, as I said before in the cards, to allow the diversity of life. The frictions that we sometimes feel with others can be an opportunity to point towards union, to point towards coming together. And that's why this dance between Nunus and Isis is also very sexual in a way. So, because sexuality has to do with forces that are in a dance. And this dance has to do with different viewpoints, different points of seeing the world. And it's not about right or wrong, that this diversity, this dance of life makes life move. Gemini is about movement, it is about the flexibility of the mind, and that this, with the asteroid Nymph, this flexibility is part of creation. That those nature spirits, in a way, they are very, very attached to creation. They are the guardians of creations. The nature spirits are the angels of the earth, they are the guardians of creation. But in their magic, which sounds contradictory in a way, in their magic, they need to be free. If you are too attached, then you cannot allow your vision to rise and then to rain into matter. Magic is like shooting an arrow, and if you are too attached, then you are very tight, and when you are very tight, your arrow will just fall to the ground and will not find new horizons. This new moon reminds us to be flexible and to be creative. And with the square from Saturn and the asteroid Patientia and the asteroid Ariadne, we are maybe even forced to be flexible, because we very likely will meet obstacles. We very likely will find others who oppose our wishes. But if we remind ourselves that these oppositions or these odds allow our dance of creativity, then we can use this new moon to rise, and to rise to create a lot of beauty in our lives and a lot of harmony in our lives. And this new moon is also supported by Neptune, Pallas Athena and asteroid Lilith, and is also supported by Pluto. So this new that is coming has a lot of support, but with the Saturn Uranus square that is going on for the whole year, it is eruptive. There is a friction, but this friction will bring the new. And sometimes we are too narrow in our thinking and say, well, this is the new and this is the old, and this is this fighting this, and so this has to win. Everyone who is too convinced of their opinion is in a way in the old, is in a way very much in the Saturn force, in this kind of, but this is how it has to be. And Uranus is setting free our restrictions that most of all we have in ourselves. So I would say it is an invitation to be born anew, and to be born is chaotic, to be born is messy. I would say let it be chaotic, let it be new, let it be messy, and out of this mess, let's be patient. There will be born something very beautiful. With the support of Neptune and Pluto, there will be born something very powerful if we allow the new to be new. Like in the cards, if we don't take our old crap with us, if we don't are controlled by this algol force, by this our resentments, our old attachments, our old wounds, and if we say the future needs to be as free as possible. The new is never born out of our resentments. The new is never born out of restrictions. But even if there are forces that might restrict us, that might say no, trust that creation always finds its way. This new moon is very interesting with this dance between the material and the immaterial, and I think that this new moon even might bring disruptions in the earth. So there might be some earthquakes, because there is a tension in this new moon. There is quite a tension in this new moon, an outbreak of something new, or something that would break together. And with the square between Saturn and Uranus, I would say it might be both. It might be something that breaks together and something that will be set free, and out of this being set free, it will be new. Trust that out of this improvising, out of this openness of improvising, out of not being fixed in the thoughts of revenge like alcohol, or not being in power games, that is the dark side of Lilith, but saying, I'm open and I allow to be just part of the dance, and that in the end this will make sense, and I will find myself at the right place with the right people. But I'm Taurus myself. It is not easy for Taurus. Improvisation is not so much the Taurus thing. Taurus likes things to be stable. And even though this new moon is in Taurus, it is an invitation to say, find stability in the unstable, find stability in change, find this Buddha point of eternity in the change. So, and out of this Buddha point, experience the magic that is going on, this dance of life that is going on. May is the month of the fairy kingdom. It is the month of the Devic kingdom. It is a very magical month. Allow the magic to dance around you. Dance with the creative forces around you. So I wish that this new moon will bring a lot of joy for you and a beautiful month of May. Thank you for watching. Till next time, namaste.